capital. When we look at capital, these are private lenders to bring funds to the deal. So here's the beauty. Sometimes I only need to work with private investors. I don't need to syndicate the deal. Syndicate, we'll talk about after lunch, but syndication is when we're pooling money together to buy a property, and that pool of investors do not get mortgages, do not get a mortgage. They're part of the LLC that owns the property, okay? Where a private lender gets what? A mortgage, right? That secures their investment. So could I have two private lenders on one deal? Could I? Let's take syndication out. That's right. I could have two private lenders on one deal if I gave one lender second lien position and the other lender what? Third lien position. As long as they're in a specific position, I can give them a mortgage on that property. You guys with me on this? So we have to remember that as long as they know their position. I can't go to Ross and say, hey man, you want to lend me money? I'll secure you, and then not tell Ross he's in third position. That'll get me in trouble. You understand? That'll get me in trouble. And I can't go to Ross and Jeff and say, hey, just give me all your money and I'll go buy this thing. That's a what? That's a syndication. You with me on this? But I can go to Ross and Jeff and say, guys, I got the perfect deal. Here's what I'm going to pay you guys. I got a lender that's going to go in first position, but whichever one of you gives me the most money out of the 400 I'm raising, I'll put you in second position. The other one will go into third. Who wants to give me 300 grand? All right, you're in second position. All right, you come in at 100, I'll give you third. You see what I'm saying? And then we just position it that way in the mortgage right out. And then we let the attorneys draw the mortgage and close it correctly with the mortgage that secures their loan. So you just need to know that. So private lenders, we typically charge around 4 to 8% depending on the deal. Now you'll see once we start structuring deals a little bit more, we have what's called rolling prefs, and we have preferred interest, and we have equity splits. There's so many ways to skin a deal, man. Like you've got, the rolling profit payout, you got the waterfall effect. Like there's all these different ways. It's just whoever brings me the most first. I make it a competitive process, right? Like, hey, I'm raising 400. Whoever brings me the most will get second position. Well, I'll give you 250. Well, they already know what? It's the most, right? Okay, well then you need to bring me 150. I'll give you third. Now, listen, most people ain't gonna bring you 150,000 for third position unless you're buying it for $500,000 and it's worth 1.5 million. I could care less if I'm in third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. You follow me? Because if we had to liquidate it, I'm going to get paid out, right? But it's when it's close and it's skinny. Most investors are going to be real shy about that third position unless it's a small amount, like a bridge loan typically goes in second. But I'm just trying to give you some understanding of how, when we're moving other people's money, how we can secure it before we have to go to a syndication. So they don't need you to qualify. That's the beauty of this. They're not looking at you. What are they looking at? There's two things these lenders on these types of deals look at. They're looking at the deal, and they're looking at what? Your team. They're looking at your team. Who's on your team, and what's the deal look like? Okay? That's what they're looking at. That's all they're looking at. Especially at this, what you guys are going to realize something is this. Well, let me ask a question. How many of you in here right now own small apartments? One person. Wow. Okay. And it's the youngest guy in the room. Love that. I love that. So here's what I want to point out to you. In the small apartment world, you're gonna realize very quickly that when you're looking at capital, it's a whole different community. It's a more sophisticated, no BS. It's a smaller group, but the conversations are just different than running out here trying to talk to a whole room full of wholesalers. Like, it's just creepy sometimes when I'm in a room full of wholesalers. It's like they're all trying to like win one over on you or something. It's just like, dude, get off of me. Let me take a bath. And so we don't deal with that on this side of the world. We don't deal with that. Like, it's just, there's just a little bit more of respect and integrity and you'll find in this side of the world. because it's harder to get into it in the mindset of going out and putting the work in to raise the money. Where like, if you think about like just general wholesaling, do you know why all the rules and the laws have changed across the country that are making wholesaling illegal? No, because the barrier of entry is so small. Somebody watches a 30-minute YouTube video and they go out and try to wholesale. You follow me? Like the barrier of entry got so small that nobody thinks they have to learn contract law or how it's actually done, that they've been doing it illegal. And so the Board of Realtors said, we're done. Do you know how many homeowners we're having to come in and deal with how a wholesaler mistreated them or did something wrong? So that's why the Board of Realtors started passing laws to make, look, Atlanta, Georgia passed a bill. It's 6 months of jail if they catch you wholesaling in Atlanta, Georgia, and $25,000 fine for every incident of a non-solicited cold call to a homeowner with the intent to wholesale. Wake up, right? Which I love. I love it because you know why? It's going to clean up the industry.